Todd, thank you. It is primary election day here in the state of Maine. Polls around the state opening up in just a few hours for voters to cast their ballots.
Our Leanne Stapleton is in Portland this morning with some final reminders for you. Good morning, Leanne.
Good morning. Now, depending where you live, polls could already be opening at 6, and some polls can open as late as 10 a.m. today. Now, for the primary election, voters will be deciding their party's nomination for several different races. That includes a governor, a seat in the U.S. Senate, and congressional districts 1 and 2. Now, if you're already registered to vote, you'll be given the ballot for that party. For example, if you're registered as a Republican, you can only vote for Republican candidates. If you're not enrolled in the party, you can pick which one you'd like a ballot for. Maine does have same-day registration, so if you're registering to vote at the polls, you do need to bring some form of ID or proof of residency. If you're voting by absentee ballot and it's not in the mail already, you have to bring that ballot to your polling location. They need to be in the hands of poll workers by 8 p.m., which is when polls across the state close. And just a reminder, you won't be able to vote on any independent candidates. The primary election is just to select the party nomination. Sharon?
All right, Leanne, thank you so much for those reminders from Portland. And if your polling place happens to be in the Bangor area, the city's transit system is helping voters get there for free. The Community Connector will serve 6 different cities and towns today. The fares will be free on all routes all day, so even if you aren't voting, you can still take advantage of a free ride. You can view schedules online. Now, depending on where you live, you're voting on candidates for a couple of big races today, including governor, U.S. Senate, and Congressional District 2. That's the one that's dependent on where you live.
And of course, Maine uses ranked choice voting to pick the winners. Our Katie Delaney joins us to explain how it works, just in case you don't know. It certainly can be confusing. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Lee and Sharon. Yeah, ranked choice voting being used in all of those races you just mentioned. Now, when you fill out the ballot, you can rank candidates in order of preference. First choice votes are counted first. If a candidate wins more than 50% of those votes, then they win the race. If not, the rankings come into play. The last place candidate gets eliminated and their votes get redistributed to those voters' next choice. That process continues until one candidate gets a majority and wins. Chief Deputy Secretary of State Kate McBrien says we can't know for sure which races will go into rounds of ranked choice calculations, but she says the races for governor, with 5 Democrats and 8 Republicans on the ballots, as well as the CD2 Democratic primary, could have multiple rounds. Having to recalculate votes does take longer to get results.
You know, if it's a statewide race, like if it's the gubernatorial race, I'm expecting we won't have results until the week after the election. We're going to push really hard to have some results by the Juneteenth holiday. If it's Congressional District 2, that might be a little bit sooner.
In our next half hour, I'll break down how to fill out a ranked choice ballot and show you more about what this process can look like. Lee?
Katie, thank you. School budget's also on the ballot for several different communities, including Portland, South Portland, Lewiston, Auburn. In Portland, the teachers union is now calling on voters to actually approve the city's $179 million school budget. They originally had asked voters to reject it just a couple of weeks ago. In Lewiston, people will vote on a $128 million budget. It has been lowered after voters rejected a $130 million budget last month. If you'd like to know what you'll see when you go into the voting booth, you can check on your city's or town's website. There should be a sample ballot available for you to check out.
If you want more information about any of the candidates before you head to the polls, you can check out our election guide and our candidate profiles on the News Center Maine website or mobile app. Tonight, News Center Maine will have political analysts in the studio. Our reporters will be out at the polling locations and at the campaign headquarters, and we'll have live reports from across the state as the votes are tallied. You'll be able to catch us from when the polls close at 8 p.m. right through our regular 11 o'clock news. We'll be broadcasting live on the air and on News Center Maine streaming. We also will bring you updates on all of our platforms tomorrow morning.